Hello and welcome back. I am so freaking excited to share today's YouTube video with you all. I've got some smoking content coming out this week, guys. Honestly, you should be so excited. But most of all, this conversation is something that I myself have been really looking forward to a long time. So as most of you know, the beautiful Amelia Love, she is somebody who I work very closely with these days, and I feel very, very blessed to be able to call her a friend. The gorgeous BT is with us. Now, I know all of my watchers love you, BT. Like, literally, they're like, when's BT coming back? When are we going to see him again? So they are going to be so pleased to see your gorgeous face on here and hear your absolute wisdom coming through this afternoon. And people might be wondering who the babe is sat next to you. We are finally introducing Carla, which is BT's beautiful partner, and I am so excited. I have been mentioning to Carla for a very long time, come on, Carla, do a video. Come on, Carla, do a video. And she's never around, you know, it's always just me and BT. And today she's joined us because Carla is a pivotal part of what we're actually doing at the moment. And as much as I know that she's kind of like, whenever me and her just chat, it's amazing. But, you know, she likes to sit back and give her wisdom from behind, but today she's stepping forwards, and I'm just so grateful, Carla, to you for joining us today. I really am, honestly, very excited. So ladies and gents, Carla, honestly, welcome. Everyone's going to love you. They're going to be like, when can we have Carla back? So we're going to have to do a BT and Carla show, I think, going forwards. So ladies and gents watching, I just wanted to let you know why I have been harassing Amelia and BT and Carla to do this video. Back on the 8th of August, some of you will remember because you couldn't get in the Zoom call with me, I actually did a meditation. We were doing a meditation as the opening ceremony to start creating New Earth consciousness, the unification of New Earth consciousness. Now, I was very blessed, and there was a lot of things that were going on behind the scenes, and I was tapping in with these two gorgeous beings that are sat here, three gorgeous beings that are sat here, when we started opening up and making sure that this consciousness could flow through. Now, a lot of you will know that obviously Amelia did the closing ceremony on the 13th of August. BT and Carla were very pivotal in that. We had certain things set up. I know Amelia had BT on the phone the whole time she was going through the process and doing the meditation. I know that because BT was doing the gratitude and bits and pieces at the end, and we obviously got to meet everybody. So first and foremost, guys, I just want to start there, because I'd really like your perspective and just to share with people what you feel those first two meditations that we did, the benefits that we think that we feel that they brought to the planet. And then we can start stepping into, you know, really about New Earth consciousness, where we're going, what our responsibility is on this journey.
I'll jump in first. First of all, we did not plan the hairstyles. I just want everyone to know that.
Yeah, we did.
We did. This was not planned. I did not know she was going to have a bandana with her hair in a bun, just like me. Now, with regards to the meditations, I feel like what we did is we have sped things up. You know, we knew we were heading into a golden age, and we've just sped up the process to getting there. I feel that BT will be able to explain that a little bit better than I can. But I'm seeing the fruits of it already. Things that I've been wishing to see, hoping to see, are happening so fast in front of my eyes that I really do see this world being very different very soon. So that's what I would say. But BT, what's your thoughts?
Over to you.
Well, first of all, let's talk about a little bit of the process of what really transpired, because gathering in different areas and different times is one thing, but to actually gather and create energies that link up the ley lines of sacred geometry around our planet allows us, through the spiritual energies as well as the physical energies, to enter these timelines. Some of you might, you know, already be doing that through astral, you know, projection and things of this nature. You might not even have to go to sleep, some of you, you know, you just know how to do it. And so some of these things that transpired from that time frame is the purpose of acceptance. And each of us have to accept our role. And those of us who are on the opposite side of some of our friends' roles have to be able to accept that within itself too, to be able to move timelines, to be able to create love and compassion in an atmosphere that is truly beneficial, not just to individual parties, but to the planet and to the cosmos that surround us. And so when we look at the beautiful opening part, which what Lucy did with her groups, and having the locations where we had them in the 4 countries, was very important and very divine at that time. And so I look at it from a spiritual, physical unity that is transpiring right now on a timeline that, for the most part, was meant to change. It's just it's taken so long to return back to the original beginning of change, and that's where we're at now. And so what we're doing is we're moving energies, frequencies, vibrations, colors, all the positive light source energies that we utilize on a spiritual realm into a really dark realm. And what we're doing that for is to create the light within the dark realm. Because once the light opens the door into darkness, there is no darkness. And so humanity becomes basically its own karmic cleanser. And so what we're doing isn't just, for certain people here, it's to cleanse the karmic energy of negative shadow energies, the evilness in the world, that's transpired from each and every individual. And so that's what I think that we took away from the beautiful, 2.05, whatever you want to call it, ceremony that transpired. Because again, this is, a beginning of ceremonies. And that's something that we have to understand, is each one leads to a conclusion. And then we create the new energy through the new moon as it returns back and the cycles realign again. And so that's important to understand. So I hope that, opens the door to a lot of you out there to kind of understand what ley lines are and the importance of the energy. And so, Lucy, what countries did we have again?
The UK, obviously the United States, Morocco and Colombia. They were the 4 locations that were pinpointed for that ceremony. Yeah. Very, very powerful. And I've got to be honest with you. So for those of you watching, we actually set up some beautiful wheels in the separate locations. And when I went after the meditation, when I went to surrender mine to Mother Earth, the vibrations that went through my body, I had to message BT. I was like, I am buzzing, like every cell in my body was vibrating, but it wasn't in a bad way. It was kind of like, poof. And then I was like, oh my God, I feel amazing. And I was like, I want to be doing this every day, like it almost gave me a buzz, like when I used to take drugs long time ago, ladies and gents. But it was kind of like a buzz, Amelia's like, oh God, don't go there. Hangs head in shame. Listen, I'm really real and I tell everybody what
the whole thing was a super trip. All of it was a trip, when you did your 8-8 meditation, I was in a sacred waterfall, doing that, and I had the most powerful spiritual experience of my life, which is kind of says something. So we are really, I've just been shown it, like we are pulling back the curtain and revealing the new world. That's what we're doing. And that's what this discussion is about, is what is the consciousness of the new earth, and what does it mean to take responsibility for your own consciousness. And so, you obviously have some things to say about that as well, Lucy.
I feel when you just said that then, Amelia, I feel that's absolutely bang on. That's exactly what we need to be doing. So, I'm just going to talk about myself for a moment, because obviously it's best for me to talk about me because I know what I've been up to. But I was looking back over the last 18 months. So 18 months ago, February 2020, even before the pandemic had been announced as a pandemic, I was there talking about the love vibration, and everyone thought I was off my head, like literally off my head. Now I look back, my message was too early. my message was for New Earth Consciousness, because obviously my soul knew we were going to New Earth Consciousness, but the masses weren't ready. So what did I do? I surrendered and I went to the truth side of things, which, good, bad, ugly, that's what I did. For whatever reasons, that's what I did. I intuitively went there. What happened about 2 months ago, interestingly, when Instagram really started censoring me, probably about 3-4 months ago, actually, when every single video that I did, they were cutting me off after about 12 minutes. Whenever I tried to do a joint live with somebody, they would cut me off. You know, it was painful. It was so painful. And I thought to myself, right, there's a message in this. And it's because it was time to flick the switch. It was time to, everybody knows the agenda that's going on now. To a point, everybody has a consciousness on the agenda, whether they're willing or not willing just yet to know that. Everybody knows it inside of them. So that's why I've started just saying, do you know what? It's not my responsibility with that stuff anymore. Actually, I need to group with my soul family, i.e. you guys and a few other people, and we need to make New Earth safe as, so that when the people are ready to come, they know what they're going to get, what to expect, how it's going to be. Because right now, there are very few people on the planet or on the world, whichever way, whether you think it's a planet or not, we're not going to go there. There's people all around the world that, you know, they don't know what to expect. They don't know how to get there. And that's why today's discussion I thought was really important, because a lot of times people turn up to my meditations, they're like, oh my God, that was amazing. They love it in the moment, but then it's gone. Whereas we are living it all day, every day. We are, you know, the conversations that I have with Carla, literally we get on here, Carla and I don't speak at all between videos, and we get on and we're literally on the same page. New Earth Consciousness. We are literally tapping into each other. You know, it's a bit different with Amelia and BT because I speak to them frequently, you know, so we kind of have a layer of where we're going. But what's so important with this is telepathy is going to be coming back. We are going to be coming online with gifts that we never even knew that we had. And I feel that that's what our role is now, is to make sure that people feel safe as they're stepping into those. Because I don't know about you guys, but when I first heard, you know, my first sense of clairaudience, I freaked the fuck out. You know, it was literally like a crackle, like an old school FM radio being tuned. And then I heard my granddad and I was like, what the heck? You know, it was so weird. It was such an intense experience. So if somebody has maybe had mental health issues and then all of a sudden they experience that, what do you think it's going to do to them?
I mean, I completely agree with you, Lucy. What I'm being shown, though, is that particularly even with this group, we're responsible for different things in this group. So, for example, Lucy very much could be to help guide the violet flames and the very gifted ones specifically, and that could be exactly where she's meant to be right now. Whereas for me, I'm very much embodying the spiritual general, the spiritual warrior, spiritual general. One of the things I've said a lot to my clients in the last few days is spiritual mission is a battle. Because the thing is that we're battling darkness off the planet to move into this oneness where we live in a place of love. So a lot of people think there's all the hippy dippy, everything's just love and everything's going to be sweet and nice. Whereas actually I'm like, everyone, you better have your weapons ready. And I mean it, whether it's spiritual weapons, physical weapons, whatever, because we have to win the battle. That's who we are. That's who I'm here to guide. I'm to guide those that we're going to actually win the battle. And once the battle is won and all arms are put down, now we celebrate New Earth and the Golden Age, and for our children to never even know what aggression is, never even know what anger looks like. That's what we are fighting for, is to create this world that is a place of just bliss and love. But to get this place of bliss and love, you have to fight. And just like with the internal journey that I specialize in with shadow warfare, when you actually take on your own shadow, it's not a fun process. It's ugly. It takes a lot of crying and you have to process a lot of your own pain. And it doesn't look fun. It's not unicorns and fairies. But once you get to the other side of it, you get to then personally live in a place of peace and abundance and divine intervention, as well as divine intuition that you receive in your life. So I'm very much here for the battle, but it's not a battle of anger. It's not a battle of aggression. It's righteous anger and righteous. This is a righteous battle that we're in. And I feel that that BT is here to help me and Lucy with both of these missions, because they both come together synchronistically. They work together.
Well, I have a few thoughts on trying, to get people to have responsibility. And one thing that they can do is they can clean up their timeline. Okay, so the easiest thing for them to do to clean up the timeline is to visualize the past going one direction, the future in another, and they can mentally go back to instances in their lives that they didn't like the way they turned out. And they can switch that. They can't switch the event itself, but they can switch the effect that it has on themselves, and they can actually release it at that time. And they have to go do the basic work to release, to actually accept first what happened and then release it, because until you accept it, you can't release it.
Absolutely.
And so if you use that timeline and go back and clean up the experiences in your life that are affecting you now, and you may not even know they're affecting you, but they are. They affect your everyday decisions. You have to clean that up. And so you can move forward right now. Get rid of the past and move forward. And right now, the manifestation that we're capable of is amazing, because of the frequency of the earth and how rapid we're moving now. So you have to be very careful about what you want, and you have to ask for it like you've already received it, but you need to be specific, because you're going to get it.
Absolutely.
And because most everything's done in the subconscious, about 10% in our conscious. And so we have to be careful about what we say. And even though it's a joke, your subconscious does not know it's a joke. Exactly. And so you're going to get it. And I've got to tell a funny story about how I met BT. Okay.
I love this story.
So my husband had passed away several years ago, and I was very busy. I had a career, working very hard, and I wasn't looking for anyone. And so people would come up to me and say, "Are you dating anyone?" And I'd say, "No, I'm not dating anyone. If I dated anyone, it'd have to be Jesus." And of course, everybody would laugh and laugh. Well, when you're in a group of people and you laugh like that and you put that out, you're going to get it. Okay. So, but when you're in those groups talking to people, you're not thinking about, oh, maybe I should cancel that. Maybe that isn't, maybe I wasn't specific enough. Maybe, you don't think those things. So I just let it go. So who shows up in my life but a man with long hair, a beard, a robe, and sandals? And it was BT. I mean, how much closer to Jesus, right? A Native American shaman, okay? So when you think about that, how quickly and how that manifests, it's amazing.
I love that. And I loved, just before we get BT's take on it, because I just love that. I love that story so much. Honestly, I've heard it twice and I love it so much. When you just said you must be specific, I think it's so important. People say, I need financial abundance. They find a penny on the floor and they're like, oh, is that it? You're not being specific enough. Right. And money's just a really easy one to talk about, but we must be putting out there and believing that we deserve what we are, believing that we're going to be able to live in.
Well, you do. And, you've got to be, you need to preface everything with no harm to myself or others, because, just for an example, another little story, my mother needed some money to pay taxes or something. And she had made a request. She had, put it out there that she had $10,000 and, put it out in the universe. Well, she slipped on a grape at the grocery store and broke her arm. And guess how much Safeway paid her?
10 grand.
10 grand.
On the dot.
So, you have to be very specific when you are doing these things, because in preface it with no harm to myself or others, because you're going to get it. And because we all manifest, and we're all creators.
Yeah.
So.
I love that. I love everything that you just said, Carla. And with you talking about the timeline, that is basically what I do in the shadow warfare work, is that we go back and we do deep forgiveness on everything so that it can be released. So I love the fact that, you know, anyone who wants to try it themselves can literally do exactly what you said and you know, write out their timeline and attempt to clear it. And then obviously, if they need help with doing that, they can come and seek help to do it, you know, in a sort of linear fashion where we actually work through everything gradually. I love the description you said about how you met BT, and it's so true. You see, one of the reasons why I'm manifesting at such a special rate at the moment is because of the clients that I have, my most advanced clients. What we do at the end of the program is we actually figure out exactly what they came down here to do, and we get it in a written form, exactly what they came down here to do, and then they all share it with each other. So it's like a group prayer. And all of the girls have come down here to build healing centers. And I always said to them, you know, that I would have, you know, things will just manifest. And so now I have Simon Parks asking me to partner with him for all the USA healing centers. He just texted me just this second. I've just heard some news that some of the funding started to come out. That's on his website right now. So it's like we have the center that obviously you've spoken with the owner of the center that I do have already. So there's just all these things, they're manifesting so fast now. And that's why it's so important. The warrior thing's going to be important because we need to be able to group together and get things done. There's no time for people to be in self-service, being selfish, being like hanging on to old identities, all this stuff. Everyone just needs to be moving in service to God together, and we just get this done. And for me, that's what New Earth Consciousness is.
Right. And I was thinking that basically you can eliminate a lot of shadow energy by being specific.
Yes.
Okay. When you leave things open, you're opening yourself to other things coming in at the time that you're trying to manifest. And so it's no different. We're in the third dimension. Okay. So everything is a thought before it's a thing, and it has to be manifested and created, and it takes time. And when this is my belief, is when you're on the 5th, 6th, 7th dimensions, all you have to do is think of it and it's there, it's produced. So you're going to eliminate a lot of the shadow energy. There's no time for that to formulate. And so
just that whole thought process, because we're just not going to need it. Telepathy is going to be there. You know, our instant manifestation skills are going to be there.
Right.
Thanks, Carla. I really love that. I love speaking with you. I really do. I'm so glad you're finally on a
It's so nice for us, isn't it, Lucy? Because for so long, me and Lucy did not have any elders. And then suddenly all these elders are starting to come around. And that's why I know as well that we're moving into this very special time, because I did not have any elders. I didn't have anyone I could talk to if I wanted to talk to someone. And I'm being told to specifically call them elders rather than teachers, because it's the elders, it's the holders of the wisdom. And so it's just a real blessing for myself and Lucy, who a lot of people turn to for advice, and we are able to give some of the best advice. It's just really fun for us to have people that hold more wisdom than us. And I'm just really grateful for the fact that, you know, you guys are in our lives, but also the other elders, that it's all starting to come together, because New Earth will be elders, and the adults like ourselves, then the young adults and the violet flames, and then the children, and we need all of them, and everyone's essential in this.
And what's really interesting, before I go to BT and ask BT some questions, give him the mic for a bit, because he's got 3 chatty women here. Interestingly enough, I've got another lady who I love to connect with here in the UK, and she's a shaman as well, and she works a lot with the Akashic records on top of that. And really interestingly, I haven't spoken to her for probably about 6 months, and yesterday she reached out to me for the first time in ages, and I was like, oh, I completely forgot. I've got to put her in touch with Amelia and her in touch with BT and Carla. Oh my gosh. And I said to her, I'm really sorry that I've forgotten about you. And she was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh, don't worry about it, it'll make sense. But she's just loaded with wisdom, you know. Again, and I'm so lucky. I've had BT to be able to pick up the phone to for the last, I don't know, 12 months or so, 18 months since we got connected. And I just feel so privileged, because a bit like you, Amelia, without the Carlas and the BTs, there are moments where me and you're on the phone and we're like, what the fuck?
I'm like, I need an Amelia. I'm like, I need an Amelia. I was like, you're the closest thing I have to an Amelia. But it's like, but now we have elders, which is a different thing altogether.
It is. And it just, like, I always go to BT. I have gone to BT for a long time now if there's ever been anything going on. And he's like, yeah, you just need to do this or whatever. And I'm so grateful because I get on the phone to Carla and it's all cool. Everything's cool. It's good. So BT, talk to me a little bit from your perspective around manifestation, because I know my followers love you so much. So we'll start with that. And then I would love to hear a couple of maybe some tips or some guidance as to how you would help people go through manifestation, a little bit like what Carla's just done, how to release things and how to actually step into things. I'd really enjoy that.
When we're really, really young, okay, we manifestate things without even knowing. And sometimes it could be for the good. And a lot of the time as we're young, it's for the negative. I hate to say it, but it's because we are experiencing things that are new. And so when we get older through our teenage times and we start manifestating, the purpose of manifestation for most kids at that time frame is, what can I get for me? Okay, I mean, I'm no different than anybody else. I mean, that's kind of the the energy of that age group. Okay, and then when you get into the later age group, late teens, 15, 18, it's still part of that education that they received, that they gave themselves early. And so they still believe everything's still about them in a lot of cases. And there are some people out there who are young and some who are in that age group who don't have that energy, and that's beautiful. A lot of those people are walk-ins or individuals who have a different spiritual path. And so that's why they don't sit within that group statistically wise. And so when you get older and you're in your 20s and your 30s, your manifestation is more on how others see you. Okay, it isn't so much how I see myself, but I want to make sure that Amelia sees me in this light frame, or Lucy sees me in this light frame, or anybody that we come in contact with. When we get up into the older ages, we have basically the same understanding, but we have a different attitude. And the attitude is simply we just don't give a fuck. We're not going to worry about what other people think about who we are within our spiritual belief or path. We have a vision, and for the most part, you'll receive that vision through your manifestation. And so how do you manifest? First of all, you have to be willing to receive what you manifest. Okay? I mean, biggest problem people have manifesting money is they feel like they can't receive it. They have so much guilt and shame. They're like, oh my God, I'd be like all this and nobody would like me because nobody would be in my neighborhood anymore because, I would be moving. I'm just being honest. Okay. So when you're manifestating, you got to make sure that it's something that's really like Carla and what you guys have said as well, you gals, is it has to be something that's going to be particular to your specific needs and requirements. And so you have to be specific. You have to be direct. I mean, it's no different, Carla mentioned, her manifestation, when it came to me. Well, I had a different manifestation, unknowing, okay? Spirit kind of just threw in this, extra card into the deck, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't realize, where this card was going to land. And like with myself, I've been not really seeing anybody, I was doing my thing on the road, and most of you know what that means, you're pretty open and things like that. So, there's a lot of people out there who know me, and there's a lot of people out there, who understand I'm telling the truth here, so, it's one of those things. And so my spirit said, go to Wyoming. And I was born in Cheyenne, Wyoming. So I was like, why would I forget that spirit? It doesn't make any sense. The Spirit like kicks me down a couple of times and says, what do you mean don't make sense? I want you to go to Wyoming, you know? And I'm like, okay. So I asked my apprentices, because we were doing a tour, and I says, hey, do we have anything in Wyoming? And they both laughed, and they're like, no, you told us not to go to Wyoming. It's too cold. You know, so it's like, you know, a slap in my face, you know, Spirit again, okay. And so I said, well, find 2 places. So we go, and Carla and I meet, and I had been giving different lectures and seminars and stuff. And so she had come to some of the courses. And I do a 20-hour course, and it's really an important course. It's a spiritual growth course, and it gets really in depth on your path. And a lot of people working to find themselves need more direction from spiritual leaders or friends, however you look at that, you know, who's ever helping you. And so when you get that information, over time, you have like a system. So I give out a test, you know, it's not right or wrong, you know, yes or no, things like that, but it kind of lets me know where you're at. Well, after I gave the test to everybody in the class and got to Carla was like the first person in like 30 years that like got everything like direct. And so Spirit kind of started laughing, like, I told you not to forget Wyoming. And I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, Carla's a very attractive woman. I mean, and she's smart and she's spiritual, you know, and she has a really, you know, open heart, you know what I'm saying? And it was like a no-brainer to me why Spirit brought me to Wyoming again. And so manifestation comes in all forms and in all ways. Now, the hardship with manifestation is, this is something that I want you to understand. If your manifestation is done in a negative aspect, and I'll throw this as an example, okay? So-and-so got a new car, okay? I wish they'd crash it, you know, taking it back, not putting it out in the universe, okay? But I mean, some people think like this, and that's a true manifestation. I mean, you know, somebody, you know, feeling jealous, that's probably one of the biggest, you know, enemies of manifestation, okay? Greed, manifestation of greed, because you, again, if your manifestation is just strictly about you and not what you can give back, okay, then that's a difficult situation too. And so you have different levels. And so when we go through our course, we go through these different levels of manifestation and how we can utilize it. When you really get to the point of manifestation in yourself, okay, now all of you just take your hands and just put them out in front of you, okay, just put them out in front of you, okay. And look at each finger. Start at your left, look at your little pinky, and then work your way around to your thumb and work your back to the thumb to the other pinky, okay? Then just close your hands, okay? Now just manifestate with your eyes closed again, okay? Your fingers without them standing up, okay? Most of you have that memory. You can see each of them sitting right there, right? Okay, go ahead and open your eyes. See? Manifestation is what you see even when it's not there.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's the exercise right there. Because again, you want it, you desire it, you have a passion for it, you create it. The question is, do you believe you will receive it?
Yeah. And I think this, I think that's where it brings what I'm hearing from my angels is, this is why it's so important to do this clearing before you start manifesting, because if you don't clear and you still have shadow within, and you still have self-service, and you still have self-hatred, and you still have, you know, regrets, guilt, shame, you know, that you still have negative emotions towards other human beings, you're going to be manifesting from not the right place. So I think that although, you know, talking to people about doing the inner work, that we have to keep saying it, because the reality is those that have done the inner work, you can recognize it. And for those that are looking for the right spiritual teachers, what you'll notice is the right spiritual teachers at this time, we are forming into, like, literally, we're like creating these geometric shapes with our, as we come together, we're actually creating these groups. And so it becomes a no-brainer soon as to who you should go to whoever resonates within this geometric group. And if someone pulls themselves out of the group, which we've had some people doing in the last few days, in the last few weeks, then you know that they're no longer aligning with the group. We have free will to fuck up. And that means that not just regular people and not just people that haven't done the spiritual work, people that have done 20, 30 years of spiritual work can still fuck up. The choice to go to the other side will always be there until we reach full golden age consciousness of one, once we leave duality and we move into 5D plus. Until we move to that place, there is still the option for people to fuck up, for them to fall. And so this is where something we were talking about before we started recording was important, is that I need everyone to really become sovereign. And what I mean by really sovereign is, yes, you can have teachers that you enjoy. Yes, you can have personalities you like listening to, but you have got to get in touch with your real own inner truth. And you have to not be looking for outside guidance, because all of the guidance is within. If you go to the right teacher, they will tune you into your own guidance. They will not make it so that you are reliant upon them. They are helping, because the real teachers, the real warriors, the real leaders, we're creating an army of people that can think for themselves, that can intuit for themselves, that work for God and receive direct messages from God. And so when you see teachers that are trying to make you rely on them and all those things, that's a red flag for people. But I want everyone to understand and brace themselves for it, because between now and when the gate closes, and when I say the gate closes, I mean when we switch to the other side completely, there will be high-level teachers falling. And when those teachers fall, that is a huge win for the darkness. We are doing such great light work. We are doing such good, amazing work at the moment, that this is very much a battle. There's literally a battle between light and dark. So as we win and we slam dark down, dark comes back with its own move. And typically that move will be hitting the weakest amongst the strong and turning them. And that's why you always need to be aware of who the weakest link is in your circle and give them additional support. And then at the same time, if they fall, you have to be prepared to release them. Because if someone wants to fuck up and they're determined to fuck up, you have to let them do it. And that's it. And you cannot, and you have to keep moving regardless. And that's how we have to do things.
I love
it. Part of your path on that part that you're mentioning about, the fuck up, so to speak. Okay. All right. Even the fuck up is a good thing. I want you to know this, people, okay? Because once you do fuck up and you take the, acceptance of truth of your consequences of your fuck up, okay, then you have the true ability to really sit back and reevaluate. See, and if you're a business person and you have a conscious mind within business, you don't plan to fuck up, but when one occurs, you don't just go, okay, it occurred and let it go. You look at what caused the occurrence. So that way your business doesn't fail down the road if it has a similar occurrence. That's what we have to do within ourselves, like we do in business. Okay, back to you, Lucy.
So first and foremost, I just want to say, BT, I just love your two story. Amelia, it makes your heart warm, doesn't it? Hearing both sides of it, it's just so beautiful. And know that if you are out there and you're single, like Amelia and I are, know that that kind of thing is going to happen for all of us, just whenever the time is right. And, every now and again, Amelia and I will speak and we're like, oh, well, we're doing all this work. Like, where is he? Come on, where is he? But we know that it's not quite that time yet. Otherwise,
yeah, because because the blessings that are coming in for us, the amount of work we've done, the blessings are so huge that we're going to receive, that we can't receive them yet. Otherwise, we'd just be literally. I said this to one of my favorite clients last night. She's in town, and we were sat there drinking some champagne on a beautiful patio. And I said, if he was here right now, then the chances are we would not have just done what we did this weekend. I wouldn't be here with you now. I'd be like, I'm not doing any more calls, not doing anything, no more interviews. I'm done. I'm good. I'm eating mangoes and making babies. Thank you. That's the reality, because I know the blessings that are coming. So the thing is again, I'm very focused. We didn't come down here for a jolly. We came down here with a mission. all the earth angels that are watching this, if you're watching this, you're one of the earth angels. You would be too triggered by us if you were a regular human. So I know if you're watching this, you're an earth angel, and you came down here to help. You came down to help with the transition. So we have to get the transition done first. This is our job. And yes, you know, some of the elders have been very lucky to have their partner at this time, and to actually, they've been given their partner partly as a teaching tool too, so that they can help to teach us what the relationships are meant to look like, because that's one of the things that's been most distorted on the planet, is the inversion of the romantic relationships. But yeah, for now, if you are single, it probably is for a reason. And it's probably because you either need to work on yourself, or you need to get into mission and do what work you did come down here for, and just trust that everything will align as it's meant to.
Absolutely.
Well,
And just take the walk.
Please, don't settle.
Yeah.
Don't settle where you are. Don't settle. It's like the men in Alaska, right? There's only so many women in Alaska, and
No offense to women in Alaska.
No, but I'm saying where you are, the level that you are, you can't settle. The most important decision you'll make in your life is who you spend the rest of your life with.
Exactly.
And you cannot settle for someone that is not on your path.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's why I say the right one.
Yeah, the thing you have to understand, okay, and this is something that I put prayer on this all the time to all the men in this planet.
That's right.
Okay. I pray for you guys every day. I want you to know this. And the reason why I pray is because there's not enough of you awakened.
Yeah.
Okay. You're too involved with the games. Think of, you know, what I mean by that, the games, basketball, football, the sports, all this distraction that takes you away from the real truth of living. Okay. Doesn't mean you can't be successful and still live. It just means that you have to have knowledge on a spiritual aspect to move forward within what's coming of the future.
Right.
And that's really important. And so when I talk about men, and I've been doing this since this, you know, a long time, you know, I won't tell you how old I am, you know, everyone asks me, I just say, I'm old.
Then.
You know, guys know I'm old, okay? You know, last time Spirit and I talked, I was 50. That was a decade plus, you know what I'm saying, you know, but anyway, you know, so when we look at where we're going, okay, what our future is, the important part is to be able to first, and this is enjoying with all the men that are out there, let go of your ego, top one, okay? Because most of the men have great hearts that I've met, okay? It's just their ego runs them down the freaking wrong path and they become assholes. And I'm being honest, you know, because again, their ego will not allow them to see the truth, even when it stands in front of them. Or even when somebody is showing them, begging them to make the right decision, their ego, because John over here might look at me as a weak man, I can't do this, okay? You guys got to get up off your chair, quit sitting on your ass, quit living a world of just all about me and I'm a provider. That's not how it is, okay? Yes, you're still a provider, and yes, you can think about yourself, but you have a bigger cosmic glow for the universe other than just being here and just taking up space and breathing air and shitting and drinking and whatever else you do, okay? I mean, think about it.
I'm going to scoop up all the men in the UK and send them to BT school. I am. I'm going to be like, come on.
Well, also, you know, when we have Ace as well, well, that's why it's going to be great for him and Ace, because Ace is my first male coach. So he's going to be doing a lot of the like military people with the PTSD and stuff like that. So the time of the great male healing is here. We need it. And this is why, again, I'm having to be such a warrior and literally a general right now. And not that I look one in my little dress, but for real, I really am. If you guys saw the messages I get about different artillery things and also, I mean, it's happening. Anyway, the point is that this is because right now it's having to be filled by women, and because there isn't enough guys coming in to take the space, but they're coming, but we're part of getting them to come. And so, yeah, like having them all all put so that they can actually just, maybe you and Ace can even work together on it. You know, we can figure something out and just get everyone together.
Exactly. Honestly, whenever I meet my future partner, he's going to spend a month with BT. Fact. Because
I actually said that. I said my next boyfriend's doing my program, like for real.
Yeah. Screw my program. He can go and spend a month with BT, because I do feel that this masculine energy, when you are around such beautiful divine masculine as a man, you can step up and mirror. And I just feel, honestly, I feel so excited right now, because you know, I had a really incredible conversation with a few gorgeous men over this side of the world, and I don't mean gorgeous men as in they're good looking. They are all good looking, but they're really stepping up into their divine masculine, and we're pulling this incredible group of men together, you know, the Paul Boys, the Joe Joyces, the, you know, bringing BT, you know, all really amazing examples of divine masculine. And this group is just going to keep rising and rising, and they're going to be taking more people with. And that's when the Carla's good because she's got BT, but Amelia and I can kind of go, okay,
breathe, thank Jesus.
Organization.
Waiting.
Yeah,
they're there for you, just so you know. They're there.
It's not.
Yeah, that's it. I feel like I said, I feel very like we can see the progression happening, and we planned for this before we came down here. We knew as the women we were going to have to do a lot of this work, but again, it's because we're going to be able to, I know I'm going to get to relax and put my feet up in the not too distant future, but at the moment it's full on work time, it's full on mission time,
but that's
and no excuses.
That's why that's why they picked us. I'm an ex person who worked, I was a project manager on the trading floor. There is no more kick-ass in corporate than that. Like, literally, I had to tell the traders where to go. I had to literally get shit done in such short amount of times. And I'm an ex-fighter, an ex-professional. Like, there is no more warrior.
This is why we are who we are. Yeah, and I did fighting too, and I was a rapper, and I literally, people who met me in the music industry said they hadn't seen a work ethic like mine since Puffy. And I used to spend time with Puffy, and I agree, Puffy's use of time was excellent. I mean, his idea of relaxing was watching his friends relax while he worked. You know, so that's how he would be sat here like this at a desk with a computer. His friends are all sat here having drinks. That made him feel like he was relaxing because he watched people he cared about relax, you know. So that's kind of what it is like now, but it's okay. Like, we are literally, we're approaching the gate. We have some work to do. We got a lot to work through, and people have to take responsibility now for their own feelings, for their own lives, for everything in your life right now. Own it. Own it, own it, own it. Don't be a victim of anything anymore. Do the work. Get rid of your inner demons. Get rid of the pain that you're holding on to from the past that has no place anymore. It's gone. It's done. It's spent. Let it go. Release so that you can be in the present, so that you can manifest the future you want for yourself, for your family, and for the world. And this is the thing. We are such powerful manifestors that we are making this new earth thing come in. It's happening. But the fact is the more people that can assist us with it, the faster and smoother and easier it will be. Exactly.
So, you know, we spoke before, thoughts, words, actions, clean. They've got to be clean. Catch yourself. If you call yourself an idiot, catch yourself. Where did that come from? That's your shadow talking. That's not you. You're a beautiful divine being of light. You are not an idiot. You are not fat. You are not ugly. You are none of those things that you tell yourself on a day-to-day basis. Have the consciousness. When it comes up, recognize it. Where is it coming from? Say, thank you very much. Not today. Whatever it is that you need to do, take action, move off the back of it. Make sure that all of your actions are coming from a space of purity. Is it for your greater good or the greater good of humanity? And, you know, just going back to the manifestation piece really quickly, you guys know I channeled these healing centers back in 2017, 2018. You guys know I'm working closely with Amelia, and as soon as I can get over there, like, this group of people are going to be very, very closely working on the one over there. I'm speaking with a lady to set one up here in the UK. Like, the conversations are in flight to literally mirror what we're doing in America. And like, people are like, wow, how are you making this happen? Because I believe it's done.
Yeah, it's happening. I've always been able to see it. I just didn't know when, and now it's happening sooner than I ever thought.
I don't even feel like we've got to do the work to get it done, if that makes sense. Like, I'm living in the space, it's done, like it's ticked off. It's just we've just got to create the momentum to get it done so that we can get there, you know. And that's true fifth dimensional manifestation. Believe it, know in every cell in your body that it's going to happen. You know, that tiny little shred of, well, how is it going to happen, is going to stop it. Because the how is freaking irrelevant. It's what do you need? What is it that you're going to achieve? Is it for the greater good of humanity? Is it for the greater good of for yourself? Because sometimes people go, oh, I want a beautiful palatial home. Now, unless it's, I want a beautiful palatial home, because do you know what? Then I can create whatever it is, whether it be beautiful content like this, maybe it's create amazing babies to repopulate, like whatever it is, go for the highest, you know, the highest value associated with that, because that is going to create in warp speed, as some people like to say.
my angels just added something to what you're saying. They're saying, think of the goal and then go beyond it. Yeah. So for example, with the healing centers, I always saw them, but I always saw beyond it. I saw a place when my advanced clients were running all of these healing centers, and I've now retired and I occasionally go and visit them. So I'm beyond. So not only is it the building, oh, we're going to build them. I'm actually like, I'm already done. It's already done. And I'm chilling and I'm looking at what we've done, and they're living in their divine purpose now, running these places. So it's almost like see the vision and go beyond it. So it's almost like, you know, when we talk about like the couples, maybe you two subconsciously or consciously pictured now, you pictured this part where you are this couple that are helping to steward into the new earth. So it was actually someone to do that with you. And then that's what you've got. And that's why we're all here now. But yeah, just this idea of see the goal and then go beyond it. And that way, then it will be even easier for you to manifest it at speed. So for example, again, we talk about money. So it could be, oh, you know, I want 10 grand. Okay. But what if it was like, I need $100,000 million so that I can be part of a collective that actually makes money irrelevant on the planet? Because once the 12 of us are together, we're like, yeah, should we just get rid of this? Yeah, like I'll pay for all the food, you pay for all the mechanics, I'll pay for all the spaceships. I'll be, all right, cool, we don't need this anymore, done. Yeah. So we get to that point, and that's what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming for that point. So it's not just to have some money to do some stuff. I'm trying to have enough money to not need money, to be able to sit in a room and we just decide we don't need this shit anymore, we're done.
Yeah, and that's the timeline I'm on, and that's why me and you are as close as we are, because I'm already there. Do you get what I mean? I'm exchanging stuff. I'm money. I'm like, and I think going back to BT's point earlier of people having, you know, a negative relationship with money, I feel I've got an amazing relationship with money. I really do. I respect it so much. However, I see it gone. You know, whereas a lot
eventually, you say eventually, yeah, we won't need it. We won't need it.
Exactly. And what a beautiful world that's going to be.
Mm-hmm. Won't it be nice for children to just grow up and they just are provided for?
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing.
It really is going to be amazing.
BT, do you want to say something to kind of your overall sort of thing of this? I know we've already been on nearly an hour.
Well, I think when we look at the future, I think the most important part is that the future is not only what we see, but it lies within us. You know, I mean, we all have to take a step forward, and it isn't necessarily that we walk or we run or we trot, you know, just kind of halfway run, you know, or jog, so to speak, but we have to move forward. And so we can't look backward. And so this is one of the things that is, you know, we have to understand too, is this comes through within the manifestation, within our timeline of the planet. Once this change occurs and we're on that 1,000-year timeline of peace and love and harmony, okay, there's not going to be, well, you know, so-and-so wronged me, I'm going to go after them. You know, you're going to have to release that shit. You know, you're going to have to think, you know, I'm not going to go back and go after the city because they scratched my car with their street sweeper. Okay. I mean, you know, those type of minor things, you know, even though they might be huge to the individual, are really not anything in the future. And so, you know, we're going to have to be able to be accepting and just move forward in a positive note instead of being in anger and fear and resentment. And I think that's the most important part within the love aspect, because again, think of it from this perspective. You know, we've heard about the med beds, you know, they have to be at a, you know, certain frequency with the individual. You know, you have to be within that 5-dimensional frequency to be able to utilize them and different things of this nature. This is what people are talking about. And so think of it from this standpoint. If you're holding on to your past because you just egotistically want to, you know, hold on to it, because it's all held by the ego. It ain't held by the spirit. The spirit like kicked that shit out a long time ago, you know, but you know, you got to be able to release this stuff. And so unless you're able to release, you're not going to be able to move forward within your own timeline. Let it be manifestation or the future of humanity. And I think we have to be able to accept our role is that we create this future. We live it. And again, it goes back to like the med beds. Think of this, when humanity reaches the 62% normality of humanity, okay? And we all have that love vibration frequency. There won't be a need for a med bed. And the reason why is because with love, there is no disease.
Exactly. Oh.
Okay? Think of that.
It's interesting that you said this, because I literally just sent Lucy the link for it, and I will send you details as well as soon as we finish. But there is something that's come into my field of vision, and it's like the Medbeds Little Sisters, and it's something that's actually available now, so that there is some very high level technology, and if anyone wants to know more about that, you can go to me on my Instagram, and I will do a presentation about it on my Instagram within the next 7 days, but I'll send you to both more details. But we are actually in it now. We are in it. There is some technology that's coming through that's already out, that we can actually start taking control and managing our health without adding anything. And it's just using light wave technology that actually reflects back the light of your aura and actually can increase your stem cells and all sorts of stuff. So we're about to be on the cusp of something massive as well. And this is just before the med beds. And then, as you said, the med beds will not, just as we go through the gate, we'll need them. And then there won't be anything. Like I said, you know, the children that are going to be incarnating down in the next few years, they're never gonna have to experience any of this stuff. It's over, it's done. Disease is done, hatred's done, shame, guilt, all of that is done. But that's why we are in this battle now. And I want people to remember that divine purpose is a battle right now. It's not a battle forever, but it's a battle right now. Because I have people trying to bypass, have people complaining, oh, this is hard. Da, da, da. I'm like, you did not come down here to be a jolly. You came down here to fight alongside us now. Fight your own demons, master those, then help other people to master their demons, help them to master those. And then we help and we master this planet. And we defend Mother Earth, we defend humanity. We are literally the warriors come down here to do this, and it's a battle. And once you can accept that we're going to be living in battle for a while, then you can still enjoy yourself. You enjoy what you can enjoy, you enjoy the people, because here's the wonderful thing. It may be battle from morning till night, but you are surrounded by the best human beings on the planet, just like what I'm with now. So it's like, so that's what makes it doable. Yeah. It would be different if you were isolated, but you're not isolated. When you get in mission, your soul tribe arrives. Your soul sisters and your soul brothers and your soul family are with you. And that's what makes it feel easy. So yes, it's battle, but it feels easy when you are surrounded by your soul family.
But we're almost done.
I have to hand it to you girls, because you are very high in consciousness for your ages. When I was young, I spent since my 20s working on consciousness along with everything else. Like you, Lucy, well, my mother was, she bought a health food store when I was about 12. And so I grew up having access to literature and books and things that you couldn't get anywhere else. And so, but she was also into the consciousness movement. My mother was. And so I did have a mentor to start out with. it wasn't, we're not all as fortunate as BT, where he has his grandmothers to teach him the ancient ways, and we're all going to get there. It's just we all have different paths to get there, and the Native American path is different than what my path would be. And I think really his would be less struggle, probably, having the knowledge that he had from a young child, plus being able to see the colors and frequencies on everybody and all those types of tools, you know, that you have. But it's no surprise we are where we are today with the men, because all the courses that I took on healing and consciousness and manifesting, all the 35, 40 years I've taken of those courses, I maybe had 1 or 2 men in each class, and that was it.
Wow.
So it's not surprising we are where we are today.
Yeah.
But there is a reason why everything's being taken down now. You notice they're dissolving all, like BT said, the games, because you get rid of all of that kind of distraction, and then people have to start thinking about themselves and go within, and that's where we are right now.
Thank goodness we've got some amazing men coming through. And to any of the men watching this, thank you. You know, obviously the girls, you're always with me, but thank you to the men that are watching this, because the fact, and I do have quite a number of male followers on my YouTube channel that are very, very vocal, and that often speak up, and that often, you know, chat and contribute. And I just want to say to you guys, like, I probably don't say it enough, and you know, from all of our full hearts, thank you so much for being here. Like, we're relying on you, you know, to be arm in arm with us in this battle. As Amelia keeps saying, like, you know, this is a battle, and we need you. We really do need you. So thank you for being here. Ladies, obviously, thank you for your strength as always. And I think we've probably been over an hour now, but so I think we'll wrap it up here. But I love this group. Ladies and gents, if you love this and you want to see these 3 back, make sure you comment till your heart's content, because I think that we should make this a regular, maybe a once a month discussion or something, because
we can do that. Because the thing is, it's all very unified what we have here. You know, BT's in touch with all of my key people, and you know, everything is it's all connected. This is all connected, and that's why I talk about the geometric shape. We're creating these shapes. The more of us we come together and we create, and the more complex the shape gets, the more powerful it is, the more secure the structure is. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think I just feel I keep being shown like it's not a school, because it isn't. That's not what it's going to be known as in the future. But I almost feel as if everybody is being put together now, so that we can literally just say, here we are.
Oh yeah, we are here. We are here.
So good. It feels so good to be back with my soul family. I love you guys so much. Amelia, BT, Carla, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. We will be back soon. Take care. Have a good day.